Hello folks, and welcome to another review video. This is Lee at VirtualAirlinePilot. Those of you who have seen my Bush Pilot series, videos 1 to 8 that I did earlier last year, will know something about this, and hopefully you'll be as happy as I am to find out that Simworks Studios have released Okavango Delta for Flight Simulator 2020. So whereas I had a wonderful experience flying around the different airstrips, we didn't see any animals, which was a big disappointment, but thankfully Simworks have rectified all of that and produced this wonderful scenery called Okavango Delta, which not only ramps up the airstrips a little bit and puts 6 of the camps into the middle of the delta with some degree of detail, and also they've added the animals which were sorely missing. So this review is, as I say, is a review of the Okavango Delta. We're going to look at 6 places. We'll be starting at Chief's Island, then we'll be going to Mambo, then to Guma, then to Kedra, then Abu, and finally Nabega. Those are the 6 camps that have been modelled in the sim, and we'll have a close look at the camps and the airstrips, and at some point we'll do a little bit of flying as well so you can see. So we're going to begin at Chief's Island Camp. So as you can see, Chief's Island is right in the middle of the delta here. This is the Okavango Delta. It's a massive game reserve and a massive area of wetland, which is about 25-30 minutes flying time from Maun. Maun is the main airport down here where the tourists fly into, and then they fly into the delta to the various camps to stay at the very, very luxurious lodges, which we're going to see in the sim here, at thousands of dollars per night in order to look at the big game up close and personal. So here we are to begin with. Here we are at Chief's Island airstrip, and the camp is not far away. In the real world, this strip is actually a dirt strip. It's not a hard grey strip like you see there, but there you go, it's perfectly okay. They've upgraded it a little bit, and we've added a couple of things here. We've got the 4x4s here. For those of you who don't know, watching this kind of thing for the first time, every winter between sort of December and February, tourists from all over the world fly into southern Africa, usually into Johannesburg. From there they transfer to Air Botswana, that takes them from Johannesburg up to the small bush town of Maun, which sits on the southern part of the Botswana Okavango Delta. And from there the bush planes, usually Cessna 206s, 207s, Grand Caravans and the like, take the tourists in blocks of 5 to 7 or 8 at a time from Maun and fly them into the camps. Now these airstrips that are by the camps are in various stages of conditions. They're basically bush strips. Some of them are so much fun you wouldn't want to even drive a 4x4 on them, and they get a lot of interesting weather in Botswana, rainstorms, and sometimes the bush strips become really dangerous to try and land on. But essentially the bush plane is the quickest and fastest way to get into these camps, and they're used to ferry everything from the passengers to freight, food, particularly perishable food, into the camps to feed the guests. So here's one of the little 4x4s that essentially take the tourists out to the camps. And here's another one, or another 2. And as you can see, they're perfectly equipped to drive in this sort of terrain. Another one over there, and we're looking down the runway. So here's the strip for the moment. Let's whiz off down to the camp and have a look at the camp itself. Firstly, we're looking at some of the terrain not far from the airport, and these are the sort of watering holes that you see on a regular basis where the animals gather. And if you look here, you can see a bunch of giraffes there by this watering hole. So here we are heading towards where the camp is. The camp is on the river, and you can see the sort of terrain here. There are tracks here and there, and it's usually the 4x4s that use them to ferry the people into the camps. So as you can see, this is pretty well developed bush. This is typical of Botswana, and we're going to head down to the river here, and we'll go down a little bit low and have a look to see some of the animals, and then we will have a look at the camp. Here you can see a group of elephants by the watering hole. It's beautifully the way that this is done. Actually, they've done a lovely job. It's just the trees and the way they've done it, all the water. So once again, we've got wildlife here. Look, elephants again by the watering hole. It's just beautifully. Some of these animals are animated, some of them are static. So we're going to have a slow little cruise in towards the river here, towards the camp itself. As you can see, the foliage, the trees, what they've done is just beautiful here, the way it's been done. So here's the camp. So what we'll do, so we're going to take a little cruise down the river bit here, and then we'll come back in a minute and have a close look at some of the camp's buildings and stuff itself. But here's an idea, just to give you an idea of the ambience of the place. Beautifully done. And these are typical buildings of the camps. They're extremely luxurious camps. I'll try to get some sunset shots later. Some more elephants there. And we've got buffalo. There's a couple of, no, they are all elephants. So now we have giraffes, and you can see some of these are animated. Let's have a slow pass over the camp. Some more elephants over there. It's stunning the way they've done this. So let's have a close look at one of these camps. So this is typical of the sort of thing you have. You have an outdoor plunge pool here. There'd be a fire pit here for people to sit round and watch the sun go down at night. And it would be, it's pretty stunning really. So let's go inside one of the buildings. So as you can see, beautiful, very luxurious inside with the carvings. These places cost anything upwards of $1,000 a night in the high season to stay. And as you can see, you're literally right next door to the wildlife, up close and personal, and this is what the tourists pay the big money for. Beautifully done interiors. Simworks have done a grand job, no doubt about it. Once again, we've got a nice lounge and carpet there. They've even gone to do the proper thatched roof as well. Just looking outside, we've got the figures. Don't seem to be animated, these ones, unfortunately. There's the what they call the fire pit here. Usually the fires at night. Just beautiful. So let's pull back a little bit and let's lower it to sunset and see what we can see. So here we are, it's 6:20 in the evening local time, and generally, as a rule of thumb, the bush planes stop flying at 6 p.m, which is when the sun starts to go. Essentially, they're not allowed to fly after sunset. So basically anything that needs to come in after that either has to be driven in or has to wait until first thing the next day. As you can see, beautifully lit here. A lovely view out over the water. Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And there's another look at the camps. As you can see, stunning. So this is Chief's Island, right on the river here. I shall try and put up a little bit more information about this by way of text at the top so you can see. So there you have it. That's just a small part of the Chief's Island camp. Absolutely beautiful. Stunning. Just really stunning. Let's go back to daytime. So here we are again back in daytime. It's midday, height of the sun. I've just pulled back a bit here so you can see the extent of the camp. Here's the couple of the building we just looked at, and as you can see, there are lots of camps and houses and lodges, they're called, set among here. There's a helicopter pad there, and plenty of other places. Chief's Island is quite an extensive camp, and is very popular. As I say, it's about a 25-30 minute flight from Maun in the small bush plane. So we'll pan around here so you can have a look at the area. Just visually it's beautiful, absolutely stunning. Done an amazing job, very pleased, and this is just the first camp. And we haven't even checked out the airstrips yet. And as you go up there in the far distance to the other part of the delta, there's more animals and bits and pieces up there to explore. It's a fascinating scenery so far. So there you go. So that's Chief's Island. So from Chief's Island, next place we're going to look at is Mambo Camp, as you can see, which is just a few miles northwest even. Up in the delta. This is the delta. The river goes all the way into Zimbabwe and further up. So Mambo, there are lots of airstrips around here and lots of other camps, but they've chosen to do 6, and I'm very happy with what they've done. So next we're going to look at Mambo, and as you can see, there's an airstrip there and a few helicopter pads as well. Well, hello again, welcome back. And here we are at Mambo airstrip. Now this is the airstrip that serves Mambo camp, which is nearby just south of the airfield. Now this is a lot more like a bush strip really looks like. As you can see, it's sandy coloured dirt strip. It actually looks in better condition than it should be for this kind of strip. But this is Mambo airstrip that serves the camp. So here we are, just taking a quick look down the strip, And as I said, this is the kind of surface that you usually see, although depending on the season this surface can be pretty horrible. It can be wet, waterlogged, can be in pretty poor state. But as you can see, this is the kind of strip that you would be looking at out in the delta, the sort of things they land on. So as we drift towards the river, here you can see the camp. As you can see, it's fairly well spread out. You've got the roads between the camps. Here we've got animals again. Just what a beautiful scene. So we go down a little bit low level, have a look at the bush. Beautifully done. This is typical wetland. And this is what the animals come down for, usually in the late afternoon. Come down here for drink. And you've got wide open spaces so they can see the predators. So once again we've got elephants here. And we have giraffes again. So once again we'll take a close look at the camp. This guy looks comfortable. Beautiful. Just the whole place looks really wonderfully done. They've done a heck of a job on this. So we're using the drone camera here to get these shots and these video for you, and trying to adjust the speed so we can have a look without being too much of a whizzing through. Nice bedrooms. Love the carpet. Get the odd little burp in the scenery, but that's to be expected. I mean, the detail is incredible. Let's have a look at this bedroom inside. Stunning. Beautiful. I mean, the work that must have gone into this. And again, this is typical. Usually French windows or French doors, whatever you want to call them. Some of these bush camps are located literally right on the rivers, and the only way to get to the camp from the airstrip is by boat, and the boat brings you alongside to a walkway which then takes you to your lodge, wherever that happens to be. Absolutely stunning. It would be fun to stay here for a few days. So again, we'll have a look at some wildlife here in the camp. More giraffes and babies. And they're in amongst the trees as well. And look at the scrub. The scrub is typical of what this is like here. And this is another part of the camp, and this is where they have the solar panels where they get all their electricity from. You got this great big solar panel array here. And the safari vehicles are parked. There's some more elephants and giraffes. Very realistic. It's a pity that quite a lot of them are static, but just to have them there makes all the difference. Another look there at a typical lodge, and this guy looks like he's animated. And more elephants out by the waterways. Beautiful. Beautiful terrain and scenery, lovely place to explore. And there's so much here that I won't be able to touch on this video. So we're swinging over the camp again. There's a plunge pool. And here you can see the network of bridges and walkways that you use to get to the various lodges after you arrive. Because as I said, some of these camps are located right on a river, and the only way to get to them is by boat, and then you use these walkways to get to your various lodges that you've been allocated at. All in all, it's a wonderful scenery. It is just fantastic. So that's Mambo Camp. Let's go up a little bit. You can have a grandstand view. So there's a grandstand view of the camp and the delta. So much to see, just so much to see here. I'm just going to go and check this out, see what this structure is. So you can see the scenery is stunning. The amount of work that must have gone in to make this look as realistic as it does. Just fantastic. More animals down here by the waterhole. It looks like a weir of some kind. Indeed it is. Another one there, just beautiful. As you can see, absolutely staggering countryside. The way they've done this really brings the delta to life. And we've got some more animals down here too, scattered all over the place. Fantastic. So that's Mambo Camp and surrounds for you. And there's the airstrip. So the camp is pretty much due south of where the airstrip is. So that's Mambo. So now, next we're going to have a look at Guma, up here in the far northwest, right up to pretty much where the Okavango Delta starts, up here. And again, it would appear that the camp is pretty much due south of the airstrip, which is right on the delta itself. So let's go to Guma and have a look at that. Well, welcome back folks. Here we are at Guma airstrip, and as I said, as you can see, it's right on the river, and we've got some elephants here walking through and some scattered all over the airport itself, and a few moving people too. Airstrips is, again, it's should be a bit more of a dirt strip than this is. It's not in any way asphalt or similar. Let's get a closer look at these elephants. Unfortunately as well, for the pilots that operate the bush planes out here, animals on the runway or near the runway are a constant hazard, especially in the evening, around about just before sunset. Because they're big wide open spaces, the animals gather because they can see predators coming and they get advance warning, and the airstrips are the typical sort of place that they could do this. And this airstrip, being particularly close to the river, is the sort of place that would suffer this sort of problem. Any of you that have watched the Bush Pilot series on TV, on the Day channel that was in 2011, I think it was, will know that there were a couple of missed approaches there in that program due to animals being on the runway. Elephant nearby, there were giraffes, all sorts. Let's get a bit closer to these elephants. Beautiful. It's great to see them animated and walking the way that they should. Very, very nice. So we're at Guma. Here's the camp. It took me a little while to find this, but this is the camp at Guma. So let's get a little closer, have a little look. So buffalo and crocodiles supposedly here. Canoes. Now, as far as I understand it, this particular camp has a lot of tents, a lot of outdoor camping right by the riverfront, as you can see. Let's go down a bit lower and have a look, have a close look. As you can see, this is an outdoor camping area. Again, very nicely done, very nicely portrayed as far as I can see. Very pleased. People are slightly animated, at least they're not totally rigid. So here we are in the middle of a camp. Looks very nice. I wonder what it looks like in the evening. I wonder if they've got lights in the tent. Shall we have a look? Well, you can see it's 6:20 in the evening, sunset. That's better. Some nice lighting. And once again, an absolutely stunning view of the river in the sunset. So let's just track out over the camp, out towards the river. I love the way this is done. This is beautiful. I'm going to make such a movie out of this. He says. Oh, and we can even hear the waves lapping. Beautiful. Can't see any crocs, thankfully. Very nice. There's your canoes. People sitting comfortably, enjoying a quiet evening. There's no Wi-Fi or telephones out here, in case you were wondering. Really beautiful. Okay, we'll come back across the river, have a close look at this place. Whizzing just gently through the trees here. Isn't that nice? Very nice indeed. And we're out just enjoying a quiet evening. And here you can see some people. So Guma, lovely camp by the river, composed of some lodges and quite a lot of outside camps. And it looks beautiful in the evening. And thankfully we can't see any crocs. Great, so there you go, Guma, right up in the northwest part of the delta, right on the river. Really, really nice. So there you go, there's a big aerial shot of Guma. It sits right on the river, right by the panhandle here. There's the camps, lots to explore, some animals here, and once again the bush has been faithfully recreated. They've really done their homework here. Got nothing but praise for this product. Absolutely beautiful. So there you go, that's Guma Camp. Now, our next port of call will be Kedra, spelt Xigera. And Kedra here is right just south, it's on the other side of the river from Mambo, right on the south side here. Welcome back folks, and here we are now at Kedra, spelt Xigera, and this is what a real bush strip looks like. This is very similar to what I saw in the default terrain over here in Botswana, and this looks a lot more like a dirt strip that you would find out in the bush. So Kedra is on the southern side of the delta. There are several other camps nearby that aren't too far away. So looking good here. Once again, we've got the 4x4s, jeeps that pick up the tourists after landing at the camp. This guy's animated and doing something to his engine, which is a nice touch, something different. There you can see the engine oil, other bits and pieces that they have out here. He's got his toolbox. So once again, here's a little bit of a closer look at the dirt strip. Again, this is a bit too flat, really. I appreciate it's probably the best that they can do in the simulator at the moment. It looks really good, no real complaints, but it's never really this flat and solid. In the real world, it really is a strip. Some of these strips you wouldn't even drive your car on, and yet these planes land on them day to day. But it's good enough to get an aircraft down on, and that's what the tourists want. So here is Kedra Camp. Now if you can see the airstrip in the distance, the airstrip runs roughly east-west. So we're looking west, so the camp is actually to the east of the strip. And we've got plenty of wildlife here. There's moving elephants somewhere, as well as static ones. So let's get down into the lower area and have a little look here. So here we've got buffalo for the first time, slightly animated, some of them are fixed. It's really lovely to see the wildlife. Elephants in the distance. Let's cross the river and have a look at the camp. Once again, you can hear the water lapping in the distance, which is a nice touch. So again, you can see you've got these lovely luxury places, and they're literally perfectly placed right on the waterfront, right in front of the wildlife. And again, we've got a stunning lodge here. The only thing that's missing, I would think, would be mosquito tents. I know they have mosquito tents. Again, let's have a look inside. Got some luggage there. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's just tour slightly through the bushes here. As you can see, the foliage has been done really nicely. The pixelation, unfortunately, is an issue with the simulator. And to be honest, it doesn't really bother me that much. The whole point of this is to have a look at the scenery and the buildings. Again, you've got this absolutely stunning building here. All on stilts. Very nicely done. Just really nicely. And again, you can see right on the waterfront there, you've got moving elephants in the distance. Perfect place to have a little holiday, quiet out in the middle of Africa. You're really stunning. Let's have a look at sunset. So here we are as the sun is just going down. Elephants are crossing the river, going out for their evening drink. As you can see, just amazing. I love the way they've done the wildlife. Absolutely stunning. Look back at the camp there. Beautiful, just gorgeous. So there you can see elephants continuing their movement across the river and out towards the sunset. Absolutely stunning. So there you go, folks, that's Kedra. A nice aerial shot there in the middle of the afternoon, showing the camp there to the east with the wildlife enjoying themselves by the river. So next stop will be Abu, and there you can see Abu is just southwest of Kedra, and is the penultimate camp that we will look at. So here are Abu camp, or Abu airstrip, folks, and as you can see, one of the problems I was talking about there, where you get wildlife crossing the runway, makes life pretty dangerous. So once again, nice airstrip, but unfortunately not terribly realistic. It doesn't have grey asphalt. But there you go, it's there, and it's usable, so that's what we want. Not sure I would see this kind of aircraft here either, because it just is too dangerous to land at. Let's go up a little bit, you can have a good look at the area. Once again, the terrain has been beautifully recreated. Apart from the runway, whole thing looks really nice. Let's back out a little bit. Once again, you can see this is the Okavango Delta. It's a massive wetland, and our friends the elephants there are heading out for a drink. They're heading out for the river for the drink. Beautifully done, beautifully recreated. Okay, so here's the camp, Abu camp. Again, it's right on the river, out in the delta, perfectly placed to see the animals. Now the camp is due east of the airstrip. So if we turn this way, there's the airstrip. Pull back a little bit. You can see the road comes all the way out from the airstrip and eventually comes out to the camp there just below us. So that's quite a nice shot there. Shows you the layout of the camp right on the water side, and the airstrip in the distance, and the road you can see comes along here and then leads down to the camp. So let's go down to the water's edge and have a look. So once again, we've got elephants by the river. Very nicely done. Visually extremely appealing. Very nice. So let's get down to the waterfront and we'll slowly head up towards the camp. As you can see, you've got beautiful camp locations. Literally right on the waterfront. So we'll try and edge up to the camp really slowly. Again, we've got elephants grazing by the river there on the left. And again, you can hear the lapping of the water Now these are slightly different. These look very much like the buildings as described. You've got outside showers here, which is what they've said, and these are, if you will, they're kind of like hard tents. They're canvas buildings with wooden frame structures, and these are quite popular, and they have these sort of buildings at many of the camps in the Delta. So you go, in many ways you go from the really seriously luxurious buildings out in some of the camps to the almost tent-like structures here. But again, you've got solitude, beautiful quiet at night, listening and watching the animals, having something to eat. Let's see if we can have a look inside here. Right, so the inside's not really been done, but you get to look. These are your outside showers. Imagine having a shower in the evening at sunset outside. Beautiful, beautiful. So the inside of these aren't properly done out really, but that's okay. So there you go. That's a typical example of what you would find in this sort of camp. You've got your outside showers, your dining and sleeping area, outdoor plunge pool. Beautiful. So let's have a slow look around what else is here. And again, you've got a brilliant use of materials here to capture the sun, solar panels, so you've got the electrical power that you need. They're very energy conscious out here in the Delta, in the camps. Beautiful, just beautiful. There's a real atmosphere about this product, the way the trees are done, the scenery in general. So look at those flowers we just passed there, lavender and other bits that I don't recognise, I'm afraid. Canoes down there. Beautiful. So once again we come up to one of the main camp sitting areas, and here you can see we've got canoes for canoeing on the river, and outdoor seating areas, covered seating there when the sun's really hot. Gorgeous, really is, right on the river. Very nice indeed. So another aerial view of the camp, looks really nice. The attention to detail is wonderful. So far we've seen giraffes, elephants, buffalo, and be interesting to see what else comes up at some point. the terrain, the detail, texturing, the foliage, attention to detail is magnificent. I've got nothing but praise for the people who designed this, and I want to see more. Let's see what else they can do. So that's Abu Camp on the south side of the Delta, and just like many of the other camps here, an absolutely wonderful place, beautifully done. Hats off to the developers. They've done a marvellous job in all of these camps. Now, since we're coming up to nearly an hour in this video, I'm going to stop this now, and the last camp, Nabega, I'm actually going to do a separate video, and we're going to fly out from Maun in the Cessna out to the airstrip, and then we'll have a close look, in-depth look at that camp in a second video. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for joining me so far. I hope you've enjoyed this. I appreciate it's a long video, but I needed to have a really good look and show you in depth just what a magnificent job they've done here. So thanks again. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It costs you nothing at all, but it really helps me. I have a website, VirtualAirlinePilot.org, and I release at least one video every Saturday around about midday UK time, sometimes a few more. I do reviews and flight adventures in Prepare 3D and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So again, thank you for joining me. Really hope you like this video, and I'm happy to see any of the comments below and discuss this product. But it's marvellous. I've just got one thing to say: go and get it and get your bush bunny out. Thank you again, and bye for now.